Hi, this is Catherine, and I'm going to review Domain 4, Scholarship for the Nursing Discipline. And I'll briefly review some of the definitions that are included. The first is domain, which is a broad, distinguishable area of competence. The next would be competency, which is an observable ability of a health professional, which then is broken down into sub-competencies, which is essentially integrating multiple components of the competencies, which might include knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes. Since they're observable, they can be measured and assessed to ensure that students are acquiring the knowledge. So in the scholarship domain descriptor, you'll see the term generation, and then synthesis, translation, and application, and dissemination. And this is the dissemination of nursing knowledge, which is to improve health and transform healthcare. In the contextual statement for scholarship, the scholarship of practice, some of the verbs that were used were it interprets, it draws together, it applies, and it can also extend from original research. In the contextual statement, scholarship is discovery, application, integration, and teaching. Some of the areas that it includes is primary research, data analysis, theory development, and methodological studies. The key elements that are found include research, which are elements of research itself, critique or extending, and then it moves on to new nursing knowledge, which would be identifying evidence, then moving that evidence into evidence-based practice. Next step would be application, translation, and implementation, with the final goal of optimal care. When we're looking at entry-level professional nursing education, which would be the BSN program, some of the verbs that are listed in the sub-competencies include demonstrate, apply, participate, evaluate, communicate, use, explain, recognize, and then finally advocate. So the competencies for scholarship, which you'll see in the document as level 1 competencies, they are the ones that the scholarship is broken down into, would first include the term advance. This is to advance the scholarship of nursing. The next sub-competency or level 1 competency would be to integrate. This is to integrate best evidence into nursing practice. And then finally, the competency at level 1 is to promote the ethical conduct of scholarly activities. So let's take a look at each of these competencies that are at level 1. The first is advancing the scholarship of nursing. Some of the areas, the content areas that this might include is understanding approaches to scholarly practice, applying levels of evidence to practice, applying theoretical frameworks, understanding elements of the research process, participate in scholarly inquiry, evaluating the research for practice, and then finally communicating the findings. For the next level, we're looking at integrating the best evidence into nursing practice. We would then consider areas to evaluate clinical practice, evaluate the evidence related to practice, use the evidence in practice, participate in implementation, participate in evaluation. The next level 2 sub-competency is to promote ethical conduct of scholarly activities. In this competency or sub-competency, students might explain the rationale for ethical research, They might demonstrate ethical behaviors. They advocate for participant protection in research. And then finally, recognize the impact of equity issues. When considering some of the topics within the BigSN program, we might consider the research courses that we have. We might consider some of the plans of care that students develop that use evidence. We might consider some of the activities that students have to evaluate research, whether it is applicable to practice. There might be quality improvement projects that the students have. All of these assignments would provide students with the tools to further the scholarship of nursing practice. Hopefully this brief video has provided you with additional details of the scholarship of nursing practice. If you have any questions, please contact me, and if I don't have the answers, I'll be sure to look them up or find someone that does.